Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna and today I'm going to be talking about 6 book series that deserve more recognition. I'm sure you might have heard of a couple of these already, but I just don't think they're talked about enough. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. The first series we have is actually a duology by Emily Tesh, The Green Hollow Duology. I'll have them both up here. I absolutely love the cover art of both of these. My best friend recommended them. I think I read these last year or the year before that. She randomly found them and recommended them, and I'm pretty sure I got through them both in a couple of days. And yet I don't really hear anyone talk about them. Starting off with the first book, Silver in the Wood, where we follow Tobias, who is magically tethered to the woods or the forest of Green Hollow, and he is the true epitome of cottagecore cozy vibes. All he wants to do is live in peace in his little cottage with his lazy fat cat and his dryad friends. Like, what else would anyone want in life? But everyone in town believes him a creepy wild man, and when handsome Henry Silver moves into Green Hollow, everything changes for Tobias. The forest has some dark secrets that he's been trying to keep under the surface, and his messy past might come to ruin everything he's been working for. I absolutely love the atmosphere in this book. The imagery was so well done. It truly felt like an enchanted, magical, eerie forest. And the romance is cute as hell. So I highly recommend this little duology, the Green Hollow duology. Do yourself a favor and get them. They're both very short. I think you can get them on Apple Books for a very affordable price, if not on Kindle. And yeah, I love these. I am excited to reread them at some point. Next we have a little duology by Aureli Wallace. Aureli? I'll put her name right up here. That's a really cool name, but I have no idea how to pronounce it. And it's a little duology called Evanfall Witches B&B. How to describe these books? First of all, I need to thank Emily Fox from Books with Emily Fox once again for recommending these. Unlike her, however, I absolutely love the covers of these books. I don't know why. I don't know what she has against them, but they sucked me in right away. I think they're adorable, and more fantasy should have more colorful out there covers like these. And the cat immediately made me want to read these books. In this little duology, we follow our main character Bryn, who runs a small cute little B&B with her aunts. It has a very similar atmosphere to Sabrina the Witch or those autumnal cozy episodes of Gilmore Girls, if you've ever seen that. And during low season, one day their only customer is found dead. And of course, it had to be the day after one of the aunts, Nora, as a joke, said she wanted her gone. Bryn, our main character, thankfully and very conveniently, of course, is a death witch, which means she can communicate with ghosts. However, after some loss and grief that she's been going through, which the book is not all just cozy, fun, silly, fantasy, mystery, it does cover quite a lot the topic of grief and loss, and I feel like it touches upon it in a very good way. And our main character, Bryn, who is going through all this, has since lost her powers, but to be able to prove the innocence of her aunt, which is what she most wants to do, she's gonna have to deal with her grief and reconnect with her magical powers to hopefully prove that her aunt is not the suspect here. However, she has to do all this without letting anyone in the town know that they're witches. Yeah, if any of that sounds interesting to you, it's a super cozy, fast-paced mystery. The second one I also highly enjoyed, and it has a bit more romance in it. The first one, not at all. The first one's definitely the best one, but I thought they were both very cute, and I highly recommend. Next on my list, I have another little duology by T. Kingfisher, and it's called Sword and Soldier. These are the only books I've read by T. Kingfisher, which I think is a very uncommon way to start reading her novels. and I'm definitely looking forward to reading another one by her, or many more. I know Nettle and Bone is a huge one. It has been talked about a lot. If there's any other ones though that you recommend by her, or which one you think I should start with, let me know down below. However, I would definitely recommend this little duology. It's, how would I describe it? Cozy, horror, fantasy. There's definitely a theme here. All of these are very cozy books. Funnily enough, I read the first one in the duology, What Moves the Dead, last semester without realizing it was a retelling of the fall of the House of Usher. The Fall of the House of Usher, yeah. And somehow managed to line it up exactly with my module on Edgar Allan Poe, which was a complete coincidence, but really fun to be reading his original work and then comparing it to the retelling by T. Kingfisher. To be honest, I definitely preferred Kingfisher's version of it to the original. In the first book, we follow our main character Alex, a retired soldier, as they decide to go visit some childhood friends after receiving a letter that one of them is very gravely ill. What he isn't expecting to find, however, is a very creepy as hell, falling apart mansion full of dark, eerie, coming to life nightmares. His friend who's gravely ill is sleepwalking and talking in tongues. Her brother, his other friend, is slowly going mad. Things are very off. And so the story follows Alex as he has to discover what the hell is going on before the house drives everyone in it mad and takes them down with it. The second one follows a similar mysterious fantasy horror plot. I enjoyed it, maybe not as much as the first one, but I still recommend if you're looking for something in the same category and to give you that same cozy horror feeling. I think the highlight of the second book is not the plot itself, but the side characters. It has some really fun, quirky side characters which save the book for me, and there's a little cute side romance between these two characters who are both in like their 50s or 60s, and I absolutely loved it. So if you're looking for anything like that, they're both also very short. I do recommend the audiobooks as well. They're very well narrated and great for like a long car journey, long bus journey. So yeah, I highly recommend. And if you have read them, let me know if you like them. And once again, recommend me any books by Kingfisher that I should read next, because there's just so many. I don't know which ones to start with. Next on our list, we have Monk and Robot by Becky Chambers. I'm sure you've heard of these. If you have not heard of Becky Chambers, then where have you been? However, this was my very first introduction to Becky Chambers and to cozy science fiction, which after reading these, I am hooked, and I'm looking for anything that remotely resembles this. So if you have any recommendations that give off that same coming back home, peaceful, cozy, very low stakes, very goody feeling energy, then please let me know. All right, so from what I remember, these books are set in Panga, which is either a moon or a planet or the moon of another planet. It doesn't matter, it has no relevance to the plot. They're just simply not set on Earth. Centuries ago, Panga was divided into two once the robots gained self-awareness and became sentient, basically, and decided that they wanted nothing to do with the humans anymore. So they left off into the wilderness. There was no violence, there was no war, nothing. They just decided to get up and go, which totally understand. And so the moon or the planet or wherever they are basically got divided into two. The robots took the wilderness and the humans took their side of the planet, and they just, haven't spoken in centuries. A robot has not been seen since then. We fast forward to present day when we follow our main character, who's a non-binary monk, and their name is Sibling Dex. We follow them as they decide that they want to become a tea monk, which basically means that instead of residing with all the other siblings in the monastery, That was the first word that came into my mind, but I'm not sure if that's right, but we're gonna go ahead and go with that. And if I'm wrong, I'm sure you know what I'm trying to say. They decide that instead of residing in the monastery with the other monks, they are going to become a tea monk. And what tea monks do is pretty much travel the world in a little cart, serve tea, and offer a kind of therapist service to those they serve tea with, So basically just give them tea and have a good old chat about whatever they're feeling. However, sibling Dex, after doing this for a while, is just not feeling as fulfilled as they thought they would. So they decide to, breaking the law, go off into the wilderness for a bit. Just take a little bit of a break and maybe follow a road that they were not meant to follow, to an old abandoned monastery in the woods that they've heard of, but because it's out of the section where humans are, allowed to be, they're not technically allowed to go there, but they decide to do so either way. And on their journey towards this abandoned monastery, they come face to face with a robot for the first time in centuries. No one has seen robots, and they are the first one to come face to face with one. And the robot has just one question before they go back to wherever they came from, and that is, what do people need? And so Becky Chambers, throughout the novel, throughout the duology really, covers this question of, in a world where humans have everything they could ever want, is there truly a need of anything? We follow Monk and Robot on their little adventures throughout the first and second book as they try to answer this question, and Robot just is truly so invested and intrigued by humans. I absolutely loved it. It was such a cute little duology. If you're looking for two short stories that make you feel at home and at peace, then look no further. Becky Chambers did it beautifully. I highly recommend. Our second to last series, this time I said series, not a duology, it's Wimbrel House by Charlie Holmberg. I am probably not pronouncing that right. I apologize. It's been a long day and my brain ain't braining. This is an unfinished series, which I'm truly sorry for. I know how frustrating it is to be recommended a series that is unfinished. However, I went into these thinking it was going to be a trilogy, and the last book was meant to be out in the next couple months. So I was like, great, I can read the first two, then read the third, and I'm done. It was then announced that a fourth book is coming next year, which I'm excited to read, so no harm done. But yes, 3 are out and a fourth one is coming, I think at the beginning of 2025. I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, I'll put it right in here. I don't know if the release date has even been announced, but at some point next year. In the first one, Keeper of Enchanted Brooms, we follow our main character, Merritt, in the mid-1800s, I believe. I think so. In the States. Right after he inherits a house from a long-lost grandmother, or great-grandmother, or great-aunt, some long-lost relative leaves him a house, and the house turns out to be not exactly what he was expecting. It's beautiful, it's big, it's set on a private little island, very remote. Merritt, being a writer, absolutely loves the idea of moving to a small island and just focusing on writing his books, which, I mean, can anyone else think of a better way to live? I can't. But the house is not exactly what he was hoping for due to the fact that it may or may not be haunted. And so in this world, magic does exist. Therefore, Merritt decides to call upon the aid of the Institute of, what's it called? The Institute for the Keeping of Enchanted Brooms to come to their job and help him, because the house doesn't seem to be very happy with the idea of him moving in. So the Institute sends Hilda, it's written with a U and I have no idea how to pronounce it. But yeah, they sent her to come help him deal with the house, and she immediately became one of my all-time favorite characters in this little series. She is grumpy, she's snarky, she's very stern, She basically has to stick up her ass. But I love her. She is so funny without realizing that she's being funny, like without trying to be funny. And of course, as they spend more time together and she moves into the house to try and help him figure out what the hell is going on and what is haunting the house, the relationship may or may not evolve past cordial professionals and maybe even past friendship. Because, I mean, of course, Mary is going to fall in love with Hilda. She's the best. The two other books that are already out follows them throughout other mysteries here and there. They, I think, at some point moved to England. I can't spoil anything, but yeah, more magical mysteries to come, and I cannot wait for the fourth one to come out. If any of that sounds good for you, you know, just a nice little adventure with magic and ghosts and enchanted homes, family, blood, magic, lineage, found family, a cute dog perhaps. Yeah. If you want a sweet, cozy vibe, then I once again recommend these. And last but not least, we have a bit of a different one here. This is a trilogy called Maybird by Jody Lynn Anderson, and this is middle grade. I read these back in middle school and I absolutely love them. I randomly thought about them the other day and I just can't understand why more people don't talk about them. I mean, maybe it's my bad. I don't follow any creators who talk about middle grade or children's literature really, and I don't read much children's literature anymore. However, I would be willing to reread these at some point, or maybe in the future with like a future niece or nephew or something. I feel like that would be very cute. I have not read these in since middle school, so over a decade. However, I can still remember enough of the feeling that it gave me as a 12-year-old or 11-year-old and how much I absolutely love them. I wish I had a fresher recollection of the actual plot of the books, but mostly I just remember going down such a fun rabbit hole of adventures with May. We follow our main character May as she and her cat, Somber Kitty, that is his name, and he is a very somber kitty, accidentally stumble and fall into the underworld. And they have to find a way back home as fast as possible because the villain of the story, Evil, God, he has a weird name, what is it? Evil Boo Clevo is on the look for them. So they have to make it home before he catches them. It's full of weird, creepy characters straight out of the things that would lurk in the dark parts of your room when you were trying to go to bed. Yes, it has loads of new friendships along the way and the true power of the magic of a child's imagination. So if you still enjoy children's literature, or if you have any child in your life who you think would like these around, you know, middle school ages, then I would highly recommend. But yeah, I don't know, they were just so much fun and no one really talks about them, so I thought, why not mention them here, just as a little bonus series if you're at all interested. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for hearing me ramble about some underrated series that deserve more praise. And if you have any other ones that you'd like to recommend, leave them down below. I'm always looking for cute, short, little series here and there that no one really talks about. Or if there's some that are very popular, but maybe I just haven't mentioned them yet, then go ahead and leave them down below as well. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one.